Really good start. Oregon State looking tall in the front row, able to close that block and press it back into the deep court. Exactly where you want the ball to go when you're blocking sometimes.
Alondra Paz to serve. 3 digs for her versus Stanford. And a service error. Boise State with its first point of the match. Broncos make a change. And Ariana Bilby, if you haven't seen Boise State this year, this is a player to be excited about. 2 double-doubles in this tournament, Liz, the transfer from Seattle University.
She's been super fun to watch. Again, a transfer who's been really impactful so far for this team.
Oregon State back on the attack. They slipped that one right by the Bronco front line and take a 2-1 lead. Looked like Natalie Scholl's getting a rare start. She recorded that kill and will serve. Beavers, we mentioned a very young team. They're a nice mix of underclassmen and transfers. Not the start that Coach Mahonic was looking for. Back-to-back service errors for the Beavers.
You got to think they're probably trying to serve tough. Boise State has some good passers, trying to get them out of rhythm. Unfortunately, just missing that one long.
Bree Mitchell to serve, the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Week. Isn't it fun to see her back for the 2025 season? She's been doing it well at Boise State for a long, long time. And there's more of what Mitchell does well, serving it up as the Broncos take their first lead. Alondra Paz unable to receive there. Mitchell, a career-high 32 digs versus Navy. Look for her to try to get back to that territory today defensively. No defense necessary there. That one off of Oregon State. Boise State doubled up Oregon State thus far.
Lots of unforced errors so far on the Oregon State side. Got to clean that up.
Mitchell, the senior from Temecula, California, 323 digs in 2024. Another beautiful serve and another point for Boise State.
Really nice serve. Bree has a really tough float serve. That time just dropping it right short in front of that passer. Perfect position.
36 aces last year, were 10th in this program's history in the rally scoring era. She is ridiculously good on the serve. Oregon State on the attack. Really nice read. And a finish from Lauren Rummel. This is a player that they are extremely high on in 2025. Lauren Rummel, one of their few upperclassmen, was part of the United States under-23 squad at the Pan American Championships. Won a gold medal there. And Emma Lilo to serve. 20 assists on Friday for her, but another service error for the Oregon State Beavers. A couple more changes for Jean Garris' squad. Ellie Cotton is in the serve alongside another one of those transfers you see there on the right side of your screen, Jazzy Smith. Beavers back to work. Into the offense and into the stands. Bree Mitchell tried to dig that one out. Oregon State back within 2.
Really nice swing. Oregon State middle's doing a nice job finding openings in the block. A nice move by that setter, trying to hit that left back position.
And Lauren Rummel to serve. Coach Mahonic told us earlier this week that she can single-handedly will a team to win. Said that she did a little bit of that in those Pan American games, trying to do so for Oregon State in 2025. Denial at the net. Layla Smith standing tall. She's been so good defensively to start. No defense necessary. Once again, the point to Boise State. And Kaylin Jager to serve. 4 matches of 10 or more kills for her in 2025. Coach Garris told us this week that he was extremely pleasantly surprised. When the lights came on, she was ready to go and has continued to perform. Oregon State with a nice response there at 7-5. Oregon State making another change. Beavers 0-1 on the road so far this year. Lost to Long Beach State. Boise State back to work to the right side. That was Smith denied at the net. Smith sets Cotton. Bilby turned away. What a play defensively for Oregon State. That was Scholes getting right in the thick of that.
Double block up against Boise State. Really nice off blocker defense on that play, but unfortunately Oregon State blocked right in front there. Really nice job reading their hitters. That set a little bit inside.
So Beavers cut it loose once again. Ellie Cotton to Layla Smith. Another nice finish for Scholes. Like we said, a player who hadn't been playing a ton this year, but she's had a nice early impact for the Beavers in this first set.
She has. That time with the tip right over the block. She has one blocker and still able to score with the tip.
Tia Shum to serve again. The transfer from Eastern Carolina. That is a theme for both of these groups. It's kind of a sign of the times. We're seeing Coach Garrett and Coach Bohanec take on transfers, which is not something that they're used to doing. Oregon State back in the offense and a beautiful block by the Broncos. Jazzy Smith and Layla Smith all over it.
Really good block. Layla Smith getting all the way to Jazzy on the right side to close that block and press over.
Kind of feeling that the two Smiths are going to combine for a lot of blocks this year, which is something with your last name that you might enjoy.
Yes, definitely.
Liz Smythe, former Bronco, here with us. Some people pronounce it Smith.
Yes.
The old English pronunciation. Ellie Cotton into the offense. Jazzy Smith, another finish. Second team All-WAC at Seattle University. Last year actually suffered an injury in fall camp, but she is back at full strength this weekend.
Again, another transfer that Coach Garris has talked about, just making impacts for this program. Really fun to see just some new faces out this year.
Speaking of new faces, how good is it to see Bella McGurr back out there? She missed most of last year, all but 7 matches with a hand injury. Oregon State gets the point after McGurr's serve, but Coach Garris absolutely raved about her last year, said it was a big piece that they were missing. And what was a very successful season, like we said, they finished strong, ultimately made the Mountain West semifinal. They felt good about the way that last year finished, but they feel even better with McGurr back in the fold this year.
I agree. She's such a strong defensive player and just provides a lot in the back row alongside with Bree Mitchell.
A little close fist bump there for Ari Bilby. Oregon State trying to change the pace. Cotton sets. A little dump off and a finish for Eliza Sharp. There's one of the talented freshmen getting into the action. Eliza Sharp, the tournament MVP at the Utah Valley Invitational. Redshirt freshman from Burlingame, California. Still only in her second week of action with Boise State volleyball. And Lily Eder serves. Another underclassman that Boise State really feels like it can build around. Eder serves, Sharp finishes. We're going to see a lot of that this year between those two underclassmen.
Definitely. That was a really good connection by Eder and Sharp. Really fast. Eder was able to get to the net. Fast set. Eliza's right there up, ready to swing. I love it.
Associate head coach Candy Murphy in her 16th season under Coach Sean Garris told us that Sharp has been so much better than they could have expected. I mean, this is a player who hadn't played a single collegiate match until last weekend. No big deal. Casually turned around and won the tournament MVP. Nothing to it, right?
Right. She's been impressive from the start and fun to watch. She has such a fast arm swing, and she's so physical at the net, too. It's just been, I mean, so far so good. I love what I see from her.
Oregon State keeping it close. It's 11-9 as Alondra Paz serves. Kill for her versus Long Beach State. They were swept in both of those matchups in that tournament. Point to the Beavers, and they're back within 1 as both teams crest double digits today.
Tough one, a tight pass by Boise State, calling the back row on setter Lily Eder as she is back row, so that was a back row attack.
They swept UCSD yesterday. Coach Bohanec said that was a very balanced offensive attack and good pressure from the service line. Alondra Praz trying to carry that into this Saturday's action. Another powerful right-hand swing there from Sharp. Boise State into its offense. Denial and a nice defensive stand for Oregon State. Natalie Scholes in the middle of it again.
Scholes doing a nice job getting out to that right side to close that block. And she's very physical, very tall.
Coach Bohanec told us that this tournament was very important to them. She said that they want to play Boise State because they're going to get used to playing here in years to come when they join the Pac-12 next season, the Broncos do. And their future conference rivals respond, retaking the lead at 12-11. try there for Annika Hester, who wasn't able to finish. Ari Bilby service once again. Runnel to finish. Oh, she is so good from that right side. We mentioned helped the U.S. under-23 team win a gold medal this past offseason.
Sounds like that really helps her become a better player of this season is what her head coach talked about. And that was a really powerful swing. We're seeing that in this match.
Yeah, she's an outside hitter, but they had a lot of injuries on that team. So Coach Mahonic told us they actually had to try her in the middle a little bit and said that was great for her to get that experience. And she hopes it can translate to success in the 2025 season. A denial and a point for the Broncos. That was Kaylin Jaeger getting involved with the defensive end. Elijah Sharp also joins the party. 9 kills, 7 blocks for Jaeger on Thursday. She has wasted absolutely no time making herself comfortable here in front of Bronco Nation. Mitchell, a nice play to keep that one alive. Tried to dig it out again. Just a better finish by Oregon State. We're level once again. There's Alana Mars, another one of those freshmen. Stop me if you've heard that before in this match. Recording that kill.
Some new faces on both sides of the net today.
Emma Lilo, ready to serve. She's a sophomore, all the way from Hawaii. Her coach said that she's played in tough matches before, which will really help her as far as gaining experience this year. Broncos get the lead right back, playing well along the net.
Nice swing by Jaeger, full block, and able to tool that block going out of bounds. It's perfect, exactly what you want to do when you have a big block in front of you.
Ellie Cotton serves. Another player that Boise State is very excited to return, a senior from Elk Grove, Minnesota. I see her in the middle of the fold, running the offense as the setter. Broncos try for a block. Point Oregon State. We are tied once again. It was an unbelievable match yesterday as Boise State came up just short in extra points against Arizona. There were 39 ties and 13 lead changes. You ever remember playing in a match like that?
Yeah, definitely had some battles like that. Those are fun ones to play, and obviously you want the win, and sucks when it results in what happened last night, but just fun volleyball.
Layla Smith drops the hammer. A career-high 9 blocks for her on Thursday. She is stacking up the kills, too. Very good defensive player, starting to figure it out offensively. It is 15-14. We got our first break and a great first set. Bars graduated, one of the best players that this program has ever seen. Kiki Remensberger, a good setter, transferred to Arkansas, so they lost 2 of their best players. Players like Layla Smith and like Elijah Sharp are a big reason why they're very confident going into this season.
For sure, definitely some big shoes to fill, like you mentioned, but so far they've done a nice job stepping up and filling those roles. And I mean, for all these new faces, they're playing really well together this weekend and last weekend.
Oregon State keeping it close. Beavers just won't go away here in this first set. Boise State builds a lead. Oregon State's been able to respond. Look like Alana Mars in there once again.
Back and forth. Looks like Oregon State's been really successful so far with the tip right over the block. That's where Boise State off blockers just got to be ready and anticipate that.
Tia Shum, many internationals on this team. We mentioned she came from East Carolina, where she helped them to an NIVC Sweet 16 appearance. Boise State responds well. Smith once again.
Both middles on Boise State seeing success, those quick hits, one blocker. I love that choice by Ellie Cotton, and Layla Smith just ripping it into that left back corner.
Bella McGurr serves. We mentioned the hand surgery that she dealt with last year. She said that was the toughest moment in my volleyball career. How good is that ace got to feel?
That was a great ace by McGurr, and like you said, it's so nice to see her back in Bronco Gym and playing. I'm sure a tough injury to get through, and probably made her even better and stronger player, though, mentally and physically.
A timeout for Oregon State, 18-15 here in the first set, as you see Sean Garrett's gathered the troops around his bench. Lindsey Bohonic on the other side. Referees headed over to the scores table for a quick word. Paula Martin is our head referee. Nikki Koppel is our second. Line judges Gabriella and Michaela Martinez. Boise State getting a word in, and if you weren't aware, another storyline for the Broncos this year, a change in the staff. Megan Yett is in her first year as an assistant coach. We'll see her talking with some of the younger players for the Broncos. Of course, Candy Murphy, very familiar sight. You played under her. You played under Coach Garrett. What's it like to play for this program?
Honestly, people. I learned so much from both of them. I think they not only produce good volleyball players, but good humans after college, because there is life after college. So I appreciate everything I learned from them. And like I mentioned earlier, they've done a nice job with this program. 17 years, that's an amazing accomplishment, I'd say.
Coach looking on, of course, Brenda Langley in her second year, also part of her staff. 23 seasons overall as a head coach for Coach Garris. 2 times the Mountain West Coach of the Year in 2015 and 2016. For Oregon State, Liz, they kept it close here in the first set. How did they get over the hump and maybe push Boise State in the final points of this first set?
I think reducing some of their service errors. We've seen a few so far in this match. I know they're trying to serve tough. I think keeping physical at the net, they've done a nice job blocking, but I guess just keeping aggressive down the stretch.
Oregon State back into the offense. A nice recovery as Boise State works it back. Bilby the flush. And Boise State up by 4.
I love that thumb down hit by Bilby. That hard angle is the perfect spot. Really nice pressure on Oregon State on that one.
How about this number, Liz? 905 career kills with Seattle U.
Wow. That's incredible.
So much you hear from coaches across the board in all different sports. Right now in 2025, you just want older players. You want as much experience as you can get in. Almost 1,000 kills for a player coming to Boise State this year. Pretty unbelievable.
Definitely a good pickup for Boise State.
Broncos up by 5 in a timeout for Lindsey Bohanec, it looks like. Again, a referee back at the scores table, Paula Martin, leading our crew. Oregon State again, you see the WCC on the left side of their uniforms. Of course, they're in the Pac-12 still, but they're competing in the West Coast Conference until the conference comes back together. It's such a transient, tough position for them to be in. But again, a big reason why they want to be in this tournament is to get used to coming to Boise, get used to that travel, and more importantly, get used to players like Shaw that they'll be seeing year after year.
Right, and we know how hard it is to play in this gym. You know, the band's here, just getting used to that atmosphere. I think it was a smart move by the head coach for Oregon State.
That is another great atmosphere here as Coach Murphy and Coach Garris look on. That was something that Sean told us earlier this week. He said he was still anticipating how his freshmen and some of his transfers would respond, because he said you never know until you come into this building how loud it's going to get. That's something that our crew today can relate to. The band is shaking the walls, and they are working, and of course we deal with it too a little bit here over courtside. But again, you played here, such an incredible atmosphere, something that Boise State has built a reputation for year after year. 5-point lead for Boise State, largest of this first set. And again, Bella McGurr to serve. Lilo pops it up. There's Keila Gabriel, who worked her way into the rotation for the first time this weekend in this Boise State Classic. Great dig by Ellie Cotton. Bilby on attack. Another kill for Ari Bilby.
Smart play by Ari Bilby, showing her experience that she has at this level. Again, that's an out-of-system play. You know, you're not going to have the perfect set, but knowing what to do with it, and she did just that, just using those hands at that block.
Another serve for Bella McGurr, who he mentioned has been a long road back. She went to a hand specialist 2 to 3 times a week trying to work back from that injury. Clearly this year it's paid off for not the serve she was looking for there. But what a testament and what resilience for McGurr to get back into the lineup this year and play good for Boise State. Oregon State stopping the bleeding, at least temporarily. Back within 5 as Jackie Matias serves. Another player that Oregon State feels very comfortable with this year, according to Coach Bohanec. McGurr digs it out. Bilby switches the pace. And the Beavers work it back. Nice dig by McGurr once more. Bilby. Broncos by 6.
Wow, that was a fun rally to watch. Both sides have great defensive efforts. McGurr with 2 amazing digs up, and Bilby finishing it with the attack.
Boise State is taking control here in this first set. playing its third match in front of its home fans this year. Swept UCSD on Thursday, fell in 5 to Arizona yesterday afternoon. Point there to the Beavers. Nice response for Oregon State. And Alondra Paz will sub in to serve. A DSO from Woodbourne, Oregon. We mentioned there's a ton of internationals on this roster, not many native Oregonians. That's a little by design, according to Coach Bohannock, trying to recruit across the nation, especially from Hawaii. We'll get a little bit more on that a little bit later. A miscommunication there from Elijah Sharp and Lily Eder. For as talented as these underclassmen are, you're going to have moments like that.
For sure, right. I mean, you got to just do your best, especially when it's a tight match like this, staying aggressive and staying and playing together as a team. A tough one, a little bit of a miscommunication.
Do have another time. Alondra Paz ready to send it away. Ended the season with 26 digs, 7 assists, and a kill. In the 2024 season, Oregon State finished 8 games below 500. Alondra Paz to serve. From Mitchell. Onto the back row, that's Sydney Dreves, another newcomer. We'll tell you more about her. Oregon State gets what it needed. Back within 3, it's 22-19.
Smart. Oregon State going to their go-to player, Rummel, and she's able to slam that down. She's hitting 500 right now with 0 errors. So Boise State's got to do a better job stopping her, at least get some touches so the defense can play around that block.
Senior from Tucson, Arizona. She's kind of advertised for sure this weekend. Played as advertised, I should say. A beautiful right-hand swing for the Beavers. And they reach their 20th point. And Sean Garris-Wisely takes a timeout. What have you seen different for Oregon State in the past few moments, Lee?
I think just that aggressive mentality down the stretch. 2 great kills by Oregon State. Boise State's just got to respond. Got to get that serve and pass game. I think just getting a good, solid pass, set up their offense, and do what they do best.
See Coach Bohannock there on the left side of your screen getting awarded to Annika Hester. Lindsay, of course, helped Oregon State to its first sweep of the Arizona schools since 2017 in 2023. Previously part of the absolute volleyball dynasty at the University of Pittsburgh. There's one of her assistants on your screen, Michael Worthington, in his first season. But a staff that's trying to use some of those lessons that they took from Pitt, who is, if you're unfamiliar, a top 5 program perennially right now out of the ACC. What's the message from Coach Garris right now as his group tries to take this first step?
I think, again, just let's get this side out, focus on one play at a time, and just get that good pass and get that ball back.
You knew the band was ready to go today. That's a long day for them. It was helping set up yesterday at Albertson Stadium. Those guys are out there at about 11 a.m. going through their entire routine. And of course, they stay through the entire game, which goes well past 10 p.m. So long day for them. Well, long day for everybody yesterday, but it goes down way easier with the Bronco win.
I agree.
Alondra Paz fires away. Another finish for Oregon State. They're back within 1. 5 straight for the Beavers.
Really good run if you're Oregon State. Again, Boise State's just got to nail this pass inside out. If I'm them, I'm going to Eliza in the middle if I get a good pass.
Back-to-back kills for Cheyenne Green. This is an Oregon State team that is familiar with runs this weekend. They had a 13-1 run this weekend. That was one of the most lopsided runs in the Bohannock era. Service error will give it right back to Boise State. That's just what the Broncos needed trying to finish off this first one. Ariana Bilby off her 3rd double-double of the year on Friday. Rummel able to finish. And Oregon State strikes right back, outscoring Boise State 6-1 over the last 7 points.
Really nice swing, that hard cross court by Rummel. No surprise that it went to her, their go-to player for Oregon State. Boise State's just got to anticipate and try to get around that block, get that dig up.
Coach Bohanna going deep into the rotation. We haven't seen Cheyenne Green play a bunch lately, but here she is serving. What a recovery by the Beavers. Second effort for Boise State. Jager turned away, and we are level. Incredible fight by Oregon State, who was down 21-16.
That run of serves definitely gave them some spark, I'd say. They're playing really well, blocking. They're being very physical at the net and just going for it. Looks like they want it more right now down the stretch.
Beavers in a position to possibly snatch this first set away from Boise State, who's looked like the better team thus far. Pass sets. Boise State responds. Eliza Sharp all over it.
It's exactly what you want to see. Now having set point of a great block. Eliza Sharp getting out, closing that block, pressing over aggressively.
Bronco Nation on its feet for the set point. Who else would you want serving than Bree Mitchell? Rummel keeps it alive. Jager. Great denial by Smith. Last touch by the Broncos, and we're level at 24.
Again, another name that we're hearing over and over, Lauren Rummel, doing a nice job this time off the hands of that big Boise State block. We're seeing that experience that she brings to this Oregon State team. Already 5 kills and a block for Lauren Rummel in this first set. Monica Hester led Oregon State in kills last year with 340. She serves. Reeves got turned away. Enter the set. Jager, a missile, somehow recovered by Oregon State. Point to the Beavers. Brutal blow there for the Broncos, who go down for the first time since the early first set action. And the set point for Oregon State. Monica Hester. Out of play. Level at 25. The other extras again in this tournament. That's just been a theme of these matches. If you weren't with us on Thursday night, Boise State actually broke a program record with 36 points in the second set. What was your reaction to that one? Woof. I mean, I'm glad they were able to finish it, but lots of back and forth, like you said, this weekend, in tight matches, long sets. Getting the crowd's money's worth, that's for sure.
Lauren Rummel puts Oregon State back up once again. It's 26-25. Two very evenly matched teams. This is a bit of a desperation mode for Oregon State, who does not want to leave here losing 2 out of 3. Boise State certainly doesn't want to on its home floor. Lauren Rummel serves. Ellie Cotton sets it up. Smith turned away, and Oregon State takes the first set. Beavers were down 21-16. They rip off an 11-4 run and take the first one here this afternoon at Bronco Gym. Well, I thought this one would be pretty good. The first set absolutely delivered. Oregon State takes it in extras. We're back in just a moment. Weekend for them, but for Oregon State, clearly, Liz, this is a team with a different level of confidence right now.
Yeah, and then, like you said, they're probably hungry for another win, especially after getting that win against UCSD. And then I'm sure having more tough plays, you know, next weekend, having another tournament for both these teams. It's a lot of volleyball, but that's where you just got to play together one point at a time and compete.
Oregon State will be very excited to go home next weekend. They have a home tournament against Montana State, a Mountain West rival for Boise State, of course, UNLV, and University of California at Irvine, the Anteaters. I'm calling one of the best mascots, by the way, at the Division I level, an Anteater. Broncos and Beavers going at it this afternoon. Monica Hester, you see on your screen, a focal point for Coach Sean Garris defensively. She was 8th in the West Coast Conference in kills last year. I know that's a little weird to think of Oregon State playing in that group with the likes of Loyola Marymount and last year, Washington State, of course, Gonzaga, who is a future Pac-12 rival of both of these schools. Underway in the second set. That's a really nice answer for Boise St, who did not get the first point in the first set, but they get the second.
Really good answer. A beautiful block by Bilby, getting in front of her hitter and pressing over.
Bilby's been everywhere today. 3 kills on 13 total attacks and recording that block. Broncos serve it away. Matias into the offense. More strong play along the front line for Oregon State. They level it.
Tough call. That one, another unforced error by Boise State. Again, we saw that in the end of that first set as well. That's where you just got to clean up some of the little things.
Cheyenne Green ready to serve. 2 kills for her in that first frame. Oregon State, if you weren't with us, took it 26-24. Along the pin, point to the Beavers. High and tight for Giselle Payton, another one of those freshmen. Didn't see her much in the first set. Couldn't quite catch up to that ball.
Yeah, another unforced error, just trying to get that ball up. A little bit of a very tight set, trying to do the best you can with it.
Green deals. And a reception error there on Bilby. A rare mistake by her. She's been dialed through the first couple weekends of volleyball here in 2025.
She has another player, a transfer that they talk about having really good ball control. Unfortunately, that one, a little bit of an ace for Oregon State, but she's one that provides both back row and front row options for Boise State.
Well, Cheyenne Green suddenly having a really nice run here. First couple sets. Like we mentioned, a player who hadn't played a lot thus far this year. The Sharp says that's enough of that. Powerful right-hand finish, and Boise State back within 1.
Perfect reply back from Boise State. Bilby nailing that pass after getting ace. That's exactly what you'd expect from a veteran passer, and then Sharp just putting it down out of the middle, a quick set.
Four kills, a team high for Elijah Sharp. Here, just her 3rd game in front of the Broncos home fans. Point to Boise State. That one goes a little too long for Oregon State. And Bella McGurr, as you saw on your screen, certainly knew it. Bilby to serve once again. 278 career sets played prior to coming here to Boise State. Oregon State gets one right back, so it's 1 and done for Bilby and the Broncos. Couple changes for Lindsey Bohannon. Sheila Gabriel back in. And of course, Emalilo to serve. High school teammate of Kamano Goldstein in Hawaii. There's a nice pipeline for the Beavers between the Iron State and Oregon State. Lilo part of that. Served it right to the net. We're level at 4 once again. Service error for Boise State. Something we haven't seen a lot. You don't usually see that a ton out of Sean Garrett's teams. A rare mistake there by Bree Mitchell, just trying to sneak it into that coffin corner. Lauren Rummel serves. Layla Smith turned away. Jager. Point Boise State.
Really good swing by Jager, yeah. Using those hands, knowing that she has a big block, and just lots of power on that swing, even without a system play.
She looks so comfortable here in her new uniform. 4 matches already this season of 10 kills or more. Now, you wouldn't blame her if it took some time maybe to get comfortable with her new surroundings, but that has absolutely not been the case. She is relied upon for offense for Boise State. Drilled in by the Beavers. That was Maylee Cormier slipping one through. First time we've said her name today. 12 kills for her on Friday. That was a team high. '65 Oregon State as Tia Shum serves. 633 digs in 80 matches at East Carolina before coming over this year. Nice change of pace there by Cormier. You can see why she had 17 kills through her first 2 career games.
Impressive, yeah. Back-to-back kills by her. This time just a little bit of an off-speed shot. Still utilizing those Boise State hands. Smart play.
One of two Oregon State players from Canada. She's from Quebec. Tia Shum is from London, Ontario. Boise State gets one right back. Broncos within a point. Kayla Jager, the serve. All the way from Carlsbad, California. Great serve there for Boise State. Broncos level it at 7.
Layla Smith aggressive at the net with that overpass, anticipating the tight pass and just pushing it right back over.
Layla Smith, one of some key returners. 1 of 8 for Boise State last year from a 19-10 season. Mitchell. It's hard to slip one by her. She's just incredible on the defensive end. Boise State's leading returner in digs last year. But if she can't make that play, probably nobody can.
I agree. I mean, a really good effort. That was a really nice swing by the right side on Oregon State, just sneaking it through the block.
Jackie Matias to serve. Coach Bohannock told us that she demands a lot from her teammates. Helps the team stay in rhythm. Oregon State out of rhythm there. Point to the Broncos, and it's 8-8.
Nice swing by Bilby, this time utilizing that line shot. Pinky down, perfect position. Again, I love that shot, just in that back pocket corner.
Another kill for Bilby. That's her 5th. Belmagur, a nice serve. Monica Hetzer delivers again. Only the 2nd kill of the day for Hester. Great time to switch it up.
I was going to say, yeah, that was a smart play. She had a huge double block in front of her. The blockers are out there. Tipped it right over the block where that right back can't get to it.
A longer pause serves. No statistics recorded for her today, but if you were with us in that first set, she was the one who really kick-started the rally for Oregon State when the Beavers were down 21-16. Rummel drills one by Bella McGurr. Another kill for Lauren Rummel. That's already her 10th.
Rummel's been unstoppable so far this afternoon, hitting 600 with, like you said, 9 kills on 15 attacks. Excuse me, 10 kills on 16 attacks.
Well, they will take that hitting percentage all day long. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
If you can believe it, Liz, she was recruited as a middle.
Wow, similar to Paige Barch, who,
right.
Yeah, and then transition to the outside, I guess. That shows like so much athleticism too, that you can switch going from the middle to an outside. Impressive.
Yeah, Coach told us they worked on that a little bit over the summer with her, because she got the experience playing with the under-23 team, and of course they had some injuries, had to play her a little bit in the middle, and she was like, oh, this was some familiar territory for her, but clearly very comfortable on the outside. Oregon State with a 10-9 lead. Rummel on the attack again. Boise State says not that time.
There we go. A really good stop by Boise State. Exactly what they needed. A beautiful block, leading with Eliza Sharp.
Sharp very good at the defensive end as well. Only the 26th time in the rally scoring era that a Boise State player had 10 blocks when she did so last week at the Utah Valley Invitational. Broncos won all 3 that weekend. Point to Boise State. They go right back on the attack and take their first lead in the 2nd. First lead since it was 1-0, I beg your pardon. Lily Etter to serve. How about this stat line, Liz? Yesterday, 25 assists, 14 digs against the Wildcats for Etter.
She had a really solid performance yesterday. Boise State runs a 6-2, so they're using 2 setters. So she's not always even on the court the whole time, but that's incredible stats.
A timeout for Coach Bohannock. What did you see change there for Boise State with that latest run?
I think just being smart with who they're setting. I think Eliza Sharp has done a nice job with hitting, and yeah, look to see what they'll do next. We'll be back.
Ariana Bilby was the player that the coaches raved to us about this week. It leads to the first couple sets. She has absolutely delivered.
That she has. Right now she's leading, tied 5 5 kills for Boise State, hitting 200, getting a lot of attacks, but we're seeing a lot of different options from her. She has a lot to her game for sure, especially on the attacking side.
Lily Eder, another beautiful serve. Rummel delivers once again. Already 11 kills for her.
Rummel surprisingly had just one blocker up on that and still tips it. Bree Mitchell not able to get right into that pocket of the hole of the block, and just smart play by Rummel.
One of the few players that stuck around and really been through the highs and the lows with this program. When she first came to Oregon State, they were in the Pac-12, of course, the last 2 years in the WCC. A point to Boise State. They're back up by 2, looking comfortable here in the second. (27-25) advantage for Oregon State through that first set. Bilby serves once again for the Broncos. Lily Eder down to a knee to make that play. Jaeger turned away. Hester sticks with it and finishes. Third kill for Annika Hester. Talk about the Oregon State roster. They are from all over the place. She's all the way from Maine. That is almost as far as you could possibly get within the lower 48 from Oregon State. But somebody there certainly glad decided to make the trip across the country. Emma Lilo serves Bree Mitchell. Jaeger denied. And Oregon State's tied it once again. What'd you see here?
Just look at that block close. You see that right side front row. Close that block. Dig into that angle and press over.
Lilo serves Mitchell once more. Giselle Payton, another true freshman all the way from San Jose, California. And the fall for Boise State. Broncos able to deliver another blow, and it's 14-13.
That time a little bit of off-speed shot, perfect off the hands. Libero going in to get that ball, but going up high instead. Really smart play by Jaeger on the outside for Boise State.
Bree Mitchell, another serve. Couple aces for her against UCSD. Nothing there. Oregon State ties it.
Seems like Oregon State's doing well with their middle attacking, usually only having one blocker up on the Boise State side, so they're able to find holes and put that ball down.
19 ties, 4 lead changes in this match already.
I feel like it's the theme of the weekend.
It really is. Like Liz was saying, we have 39 and 13 in the match against Arizona.
Definitely some good volleyball.
15-14, Boise State gets the point. How big is it for Boise State that they were able to compete against that Arizona team? Like we said, the Wildcats are leaving here 6-0. That's a program that's going to compete for a Big 12 title. Boise State played them last year. They weren't anticipating a lot. And they get another point there to make it 15-15. But how much of a confidence boost do you think that is for this young team?
Huge, especially like we talked about with so many new faces out there. And Arizona has such a strong program and a really good history. Again, we talked about them being in the Pac-12, now in another good conference. But that was just a fun match to watch. Really competitive volleyball, just a battle on both sides.
Coach Garris told us this morning, too, that he was really encouraged because he got to the locker room, didn't know what to expect out of his young team, but he said that they were really mad that they didn't get the job done, and he said that kind of competitive drive is a big step in the right direction. Speaking of which, Boise State back on top after their latest kill at 16-15.
Definitely a good sign, especially with so many new players playing together for the first time. Sounds like he was pretty proud of them.
Little dump there by Layla Smith. Her third kill today. Oregon State out of system. Sets. Smith delivers. Layla Smith lowers the boom.
That's exactly what you want to do, capitalizing on the free ball that Oregon State gave Boise State. Perfect pass and running that quick middle set. Layla Smith doing a nice job.
Like we said, more of a defensive player last year. 47 blocks. That was 5th on the team. The Broncos finished 9 games above 500. Trying to work more into her offense this year. Oregon State too long, and Boise State back in control by 3. This is the exact same lead that the Broncos had in the first set, and the Beavers were able to bridge a comeback.
Let's hope a different outcome this time. I got to close it out first to 20 and then first to 25.
What's the psychological impact of being the first to 20? Because you always feel like that's a huge turning point in a match.
It is. I think just knowing that there's only 5 points left, just that sense of urgency, knowing that you're right there, you know?
Broncos are right on the doorstep, and Lindsey Bohanec needs a timeout. Boise State by 4, its largest second set lead this match. And go figure, it's Layla Smith right in the middle of that defensive play.
Smith hitting .429. Both Boise State middles have huge hitting percentages right now. Unstoppable. I mean, if I'm the setter for Boise State, I'm looking to go to my middles, but I think the outsides have done a nice job too, keeping balls in play, utilizing different shots. So it's just been, I feel like, a good second set so far, but like you mentioned before, we saw that in the first set and unfortunately resulted in an Oregon State comeback and win. So anything can happen.
What have you liked from this 4-0 scoring run?
I think just aggressiveness. I talked about in the break with you on that. I feel like we're going for things. We're not just tipping it to just put the ball somewhere. We're being efficient. We're knowing what shots to hit and just playing together as a team.
Boise State 6 away from capturing its first set in this match. A really good first set that saw Oregon State take it in extra points, 27 to 25. Emma Lila, you see on your screen there, a big part of that.
Boise State hitting .572 this set compared to .143 in the first set. I mean, they're reducing, reducing tons of errors, and you're going to get a win with that. I mean, like, not to jinx it like the first set, but
they were in a good position in that first set. Like we said, up 18 to 15, same lead that they had just a moment ago. Ultimately up 21 to 16, but Oregon State was the one who really put their foot on the gas and ran away with that first set here on the road at Bronco Gym. You talk about a confidence boost. That's a huge first set victory for them. Huge play, too, that Broncos serve it into the net. And Oregon State back within 3.
Tough one, and that's why coaches call timeouts, especially in those runs, to try to get in that server's head and hopefully get them to miss. And exactly, it worked for Oregon State on that timeout.
Beavers serve once again. It's Jackie Matias. Transfer from Hawaii, 2 seasons there for the Rainbow Wahine. Hester attacks. Boise State the last touch. Oregon State back within 2. "23 matches played in 2 seasons prior to this year for Hester. She's taken on a much, much bigger role in the offense. Bilby out of play. Oregon State back within a point. And we thought we might see it. Sean Garris very quickly back to use his timeout.
Smart timeout. I think Boise State's just got to minimize those unforced errors, especially down the stretch. We talk about being the first to 20, not letting Oregon State get up, and then focusing on that serve and pass game. So getting this pass out of the side out and running their fast offense.
Did you see the adjustments from Oregon State in those last 3 points?
I mean, I think now the aggressor side is on Oregon State, where they're like, okay, we knew that we could do it in that first set. Let's do it again in the second set. Let's keep, playing strong, hitting balls we know how to hit. And I think they utilized Boise State hands in that last couple plays. What's your thought so far?
Yeah, no, it's so funny when you call timeouts like that to try to stop a scoring run, and when you turn right back around and go on a run of your own, you wonder, okay, how much did that go into it? But certainly at least a psychological impact there for Coach Bohanec and her team. Bilby breaking the huddle for Boise State. Broncos trying to go 2-1 in the Boise State Classic this weekend. Next week we will have the Boise State Invitational. We'll have those games for you in the Mountain West Network. And one thing you know for sure, Bronco Nation will be back for those matchups. No football next weekend. No home soccer. So they are the big ticket next weekend. Like we said, we'll have you covered right here at the Mountain West Network if you can't make it out. Jackie Matias to serve. Like we mentioned, she's a Hawaii legacy athlete. Her dad, John, actually still holds the program record for Hawaii baseball, which used to be really good. incredible lineage of athletes in her family. Layla Smith off a nice set. Boise State the first to 20.
I love that choice by Ellie Cotton, finding Layla Smith on that gap quick set in the middle. And Layla Smith up and wants it, just putting it away, getting her team fired up after that play. Perfect side out.
Bella McGurr serves. Matias for Hester. New libero, Yasmin Narlioglu. Boise St finishes. Broncos back up by 3.
All right, Bilby with the tip right over the block. I know I was just hating on tipping a little bit ago, but I think tipping smart like that, when it's in system, a perfect set, it's perfect move by her.
How about the balance for the Boise State offense, too? Bilby, the leader, with 5 kills. Layla Smith with 5, and Eliza Sharp also with 5.
Something different from last year. Definitely more balanced offense this year.
Bella McGurr with the second service error. That is so interesting that you bring that up, because Paige Barsh was such an impactful player. It's hard not to talk about her when the calendar flips and you go into 2025. Like we said, left with a slew of Bronco program records, finished top 10 in basically every other offensive category. Boise State will absolutely be missing her moving forward this year. But again, these talented transfers, according to Associate Head Coach Candy Murphy, big reason why they still feel really good about 25. Nice play by Oregon State to respond, and the visitors off a tip back within 1.
Hester, a name we've called out recently, finding that hole in the block. Eliza Sharp not able to get there and just ripping it in that hole.
Alondra Paz still no stats today until now. Service error, and Boise State 3 points away from taking this second set. Jazzy Smith and Ellie Cotton out of the match. As Lily Edders serves, another player from Washington. Boise State recruits that state heavily. 3 matches of double-digit kills for her at the Utah Valley Invitational. Wow, Heather, a great dig there. And Boise State take advantage. Payton keeps it alive. Mitchell helps the Broncos fall back into their defense. Great dig by McGurr. Bilby pops it up. A long rally results in the Oregon State point. Heartbreaking for Boise State not to get that one back after some fine defensive play.
I was just about to say, really good defensive plays on Boise State side. Lily Etter with a pancake. Just good volleyball on both sides, and Oregon State able to capitalize and finish it with none other than Lauren Rummel, their go-to.
Beavers absolutely in a position to possibly backdoor this second set once again, just like they did in the first. Matias. Mitchell, another great dig. Boise State gets the point. It's Bilby again.
Love that. We usually see Bilby on the left side of the court hitting, but that time she was on the right side, able to tool that big block off Oregon State. Good pickup by Mitchell with that tip, too. Some just good plays defensively and offensively for the Broncos.
Looking to make it 3 consecutive double-doubles today. Had 10 and 11 on Thursday. 10 kills, 11 blocks. Shaker denied. Well, a punishing block there for Alana Mars. She's 6'4", but just a true freshman. Monica Hester also there. How about the front line for Oregon State? 2 players at 6'4" or taller.
All right, that's a huge wall, and you got to know that's who you're facing against when you're hitting. You know, can't just hit right straight into them.
Broncos have some good size, too. They've got Sharp, who's 6'3", and Smith, who's 6'2". Oregon State ties it up. Last touch by Boise State.
Oregon State definitely the aggressor down the stretch. Boise State doing a nice job getting up, trying to block that ball, but unfortunately going out of bounds. And I believe that was Oregon State's setter who was hitting that overpass, which a little bit of a smaller size than we just talked about. So definitely they're trying to use her, or excuse me, Boise State to try to attack her knowing that they have a smaller blocker in front. But she did a nice job on that overpass.
You see there in your screen, 11 ties, 2 lead changes in the second set. What's the message right now for Coach Sean Garris and his team trying to get this second set?
I think first serve and pass game, I go back to that always. Let's get that first pass and then run our fast offense. I mean, if I'm them, again, I'm probably going to a middle if it's a perfect pass. But knowing Oregon State probably knows that as well. So being smart with your attack, knowing that you might have a big block in front of you and ripping it off those hands, going for it, let it fly.
Oregon State's kind of playing with house money right now, aren't they? They probably shouldn't have taken that first set, but they came back and ended up taking it, despite OSU State playing really well overall. Here they are on the road, a chance to take a 2-0 lead. Not a lot to lose here in the final few points of this second set.
I was going to say the same thing. They know that they were able to pull it off in that first set, though, so they're going into the second set with the same confidence that they left the first set, knowing that even if they're not at home, they still were able to pull it off. I thought they did a nice job staying aggressive, and they're doing that again in this second set.
Bronco Nation active and engaged in Bronco Gym this afternoon, trying to help their Broncos. A comeback effort here in second set action. Hester delivers the serve. Eder sets it up. Sharp changes pace. Jager. A little tip-off at Oregon State with the set point. Looks like Alana Mars again.
Boise State being a little tentative with some tips. Again, Oregon State just ready for that ball, anticipating it coming over the net, looking like they want it more down the stretch.
Desperation time for the Broncos. A painted too long. And the Oregon State Beavers have come to Boise and taken a 2-0 set lead.
Nice finish by Oregon State. I feel like we saw a similar finish in the first set. We'll see what happens with this third one. Again, just got to minimize those unforced errors, and we'll see you back in the third set and see what happens.
Well, Oregon State has come to Bronco Gym and shocked Bronco Nation, mostly behind Lauren Rummel. I mean, we were just talking during the break, Liz. You can see why the U.S. National Under-23 team wanted her on their roster.
For sure, Garrett. She's leading this match between both teams with 11 kills, hitting .435, which is amazing percentage, especially for an outside who's getting a majority of the balls and not always perfect sets. So I think she's doing a really nice job being their go-to player like we expected, especially after talking to the head coach and knowing that, you know, she has that experience on the Pan Am team and really just coming into her own this season.
Let's take a look at her stats, brought to you, of course, by Ford. And boy, Rummel has really carried the load for Oregon State through the first two. This afternoon, a 27-25 win in that first set, 25-23 in that second set. What stands out here as you take a look at this group?
I mean, pretty close, neck and neck down the line. Like we talked about before, that hitting percentage, obviously Oregon State hitting close to 300, which is solid hitting percentage. And Boise State still, though, 215 isn't too bad, you know. I mean, that's where we see it's right down the stretch, both these teams neck and neck. So, I mean, it's just a matter of finishing at the end and pushing through and being the one that wants it more at the end. So I think, honestly, both sides have performed pretty well.
There's some numbers here that bode well for Boise State. I mean, less errors, like you said. Hitting percentage is not something that you'd write home about, but nothing you complain about either.
Right.
Better play defensively. When you look at those numbers, it's just in the one that really counts as far as kills, which lead to points. They are trailing by a significant margin.
Totally. I think Boise State needs to do a little bit of a better job knowing who Oregon State likes to go to, Lauren Rummel, just getting some positive touches off that so their defense can play around it. But Lauren Rummel has proven herself to be able to hit different shots, so it's anyone's game at this point. Like you talked about in the break, we could see a reverse sweep. We could see Oregon State finishing in 3. So, I mean, it's, again, just wanting it down the stretch and finishing.
Now, like we said, Oregon State, a bit of a team of runs. They had a 13-1 break yesterday, and, of course, a 4-0 run to take that second set. If you're in the Oregon State huddle and you're Coach Bohannock, what's the message? You try to really steal one away from Boise State and potentially sweep a match on the road.
I mean, I think, like we talked about before, they have the confidence that they're able to come back in both those first 2 sets. So she's probably saying, hey, let's go have fun. Let's do it again. We know exactly we know how we play volleyball, so let's just go do that and finish this match and go home.
Yeah, you have to think that they feel like they are playing with house money against Sean Garris' team. But if they know anything about Sean and his program, they know that they are going to probably get their best over these final couple sets, potentially. Well, the mini pep Blue Thunder band, I guess you could call it. They're bringing the energy here today. Bronco Nation showing out in droves once again. Looking forward to seeing this place packed once we get into the thick Mountain West place. So a very good crowd here on a very busy sports weekend in Boise, Idaho. Both teams look dialed in. We're about ready for this third set. Garrett Jones, Liz Smythe here with you until we get a winner this afternoon. Thanks to our whole crew behind the scenes, making things look good on your screen back home. Kick back, relax, and enjoy this third set. Alondra Paz will serve once again. Oregon State trying to go 2-1 on the weekend. That would be a huge building block for them. Just 1-3 on the season. They went 0-2 in an event last weekend in Long Beach, California. There'll be attacks. Broncos flush it for the second straight set. It's Elijah Sharp right in the middle, getting the first point.
A solo block, Elijah Sharp in that middle, being that wall, tracking her hitter and getting right in front of her. A good start for Boise State in this third set.
2-0 advantage for Oregon State. Taking the first two sets of this match as Bilby serves. Rummel too long and a very, oh no, it was last touch by Boise State. Was going to say a very rare mistake by her, but Broncos getting aggressive defensively.
Really high swing by Lauren Rummel, using those hands of that Boise State block. Smart play.
Cheyenne Green to serve, and maybe if you're an Oregon State fan tuning in today, haven't seen her too much in 2025. 3 kills today, and another beautiful serve to put the Beavers up 3-1. Deals to Sydney Drees. Broncos stifle in front of the net. Somehow Oregon State keeps it alive. How did they do that? And Drees says, I don't care about that great play. I'm going to finish and bring it back within 2.
Definitely some scrappy volleyball on the Oregon State side. Some good coverage on their hitters, getting that ball up and putting it back on Boise State side. But Drees, the freshman, finishing it with that cross-court hit.
Now, she's a player that we haven't gotten to highlight a ton. She's another one of the new additions, a true freshman out of Vancouver, Washington, Columbia River High School. Did not play a ton in the first couple weekends because she had an injury during camp. Coach Murphy told us that she's the top pin on the depth chart, at least coming out of camp. Boise State gets one right back. Broncos on top here in the third set. Mitchell serves, an incredible athlete. Her family extremely athletic. Her uncle Dominique played for the Indianapolis Colts and the Denver Broncos. A point to Oregon State. They level it at 3.
Really nice pass by Oregon State in the middle. Alana Mars just putting that gap ball away. Really nice swing.
Amalilo serves. 10 assists versus Stanford for her. 6 versus Long Beach State. 20 on Friday. There's Giselle Payton getting involved.
Nice cross-court swing by the right side, Payton. We had 2 freshmen in on the court at that time. Sydney Draves with the pass. So some 2 freshman contacts within that play. Fun to see them be Broncos and make their impacts out here.
And we asked Coach Murphy, what are some of the things that you're telling your true freshmen? She said one thing she's telling Giselle is the block is much bigger than it is in high school. You got to take the right swings. Clearly she did on that last play. Boise State gets one back, and it's a 2-point Bronco advantage. Ellie Cotton serves. Dug out by Yasmin Narlioglu. who, if we haven't had enough geographic coverage of the Oregon State roster, she's all the way from Turkey. Couldn't make a play there. Boise State a comfortable 6-3 lead here in the third. Oregon State on paper should be the more rested team. Like we said less than 24 hours ago, Boise State went to 5 against Arizona. Allie Cotton with an ace. Bronco Nation is charged up. They've been jumping at the bit to make some loud noise this afternoon. They do on that ace from Cotton at 7-3. Boise State with some pep in its step. Broncos lead 7-3 here in the third set. Liz, what's been the difference in this third frame?
I think we're seeing a little bit of a new lineup for Boise State, just kind of mixing it up after those first 2 sets. And I think just the serve and pass game has been strong so far, and just playing Boise State volleyball. Helps when you get ace, too, from one of your seniors like Ellie Cotton. Almost got in there on this receive and tipped out by the Broncos. 4 point for Oregon State. Stops a 4-0 scoring run. And Lauren Rummel set to serve. If you haven't been tuned in with us for the first 2 sets, Rummel has absolutely been the star of this match. 12 kills. That is a match high. Boise State, if you're curious, being led by 7. By that player, Ari Bilby. Caitlin Jaeger said, I want to get in on some of that. 4th kill for Jaeger, and Boise State doubling up the Beavers here in the third. Love that aggressive overpass kill by Caitlin Jaeger. Just ready, anticipating that ball coming over and just slamming it back down. Exactly what you want to do with an overpass. Like, thank you very much.
Coach Garris put it pretty simply. He said that kid competes when talking about Jaeger. They said if everybody really trained as hard as she did, it would be quite a program. Not to take anything away from her teammates, more to give her a lot more credit for just the way that she drives herself to compete in practice. Boise State let one go there. The kill by Alana Mars, who is the second Beaver to reach double-figure kills. She's got 10 on the afternoon. No Bronco has reached that territory today. Oregon State back into the offense. Beavers back within 2. Once again, it's Maylee Cormier.
Oregon State doing really well this set, utilizing those Boise State hands. That time, Layla Smith a little bit late to get out there, not quite pressed all the way over, and Oregon State's capitalizing on that.
2-time provincial champion in Canada. That's the equivalent of their state title. We are not used to saying that here in the U.S. or in Idaho. Broncos get one right back to take a 9-6 lead.
Nice side out this time. Bilby utilizing that block and squeezing through the Oregon State hands.
Boise State in control in this third set. It's a bit puzzling if you're a Bronco fan, because at times in the first and second set they also have looked like the better team. And yet it's Oregon State winning by 2. First set in extra points, 27-25. In the second, 25-23. Beavers right back on the attack, bringing in within 2 here in the third.
I would say it's been an even match so far. Both teams neck and neck down the stretch in all 3 sets so far. Good future Pac-12 rivals, that's for sure. We'll see some fun volleyball ahead in the years to come.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun league. You think about some of the other opponents in that conference, of course, very familiar foes. I think Boise State would be happy if Colorado State wasn't coming, but unfortunately for Bronco fans, the Rams are coming. So is Utah State, who's given the Broncos some fits over the years. Fresno State, of course, with what they've done in years in the Mountain West. And then Gonzaga will be interesting as well, like we mentioned, along with Oregon State and Texas State. Point to Boise State, they're the first to 10. As Coach Garris looks on, Lily Eder to serve. Speaking of Gonzaga, Lily played at Gonzaga Prep in Spokane, Washington, but decided to tray in the gray and navy and red for the blue and orange. Bree Mitchell tried to dig that one out. That would have been a heck of a play if she could have pulled that off the floor. But Oregon State back within 2. to pause to serve, the sophomore DSL. Such a big part of Oregon State from the service line. Another service error for her. Boise State back up by 3. He'll be the native of Arlington, Washington. Changing things up after playing for a school in her home state, coming across the border and playing here in Idaho. A nice finish for Oregon State. Beavers stick with it, and they're back with it too.
Nice cross-court swing by Hester on the right side, knowing that she only has one blocker up and just ripping it in that right back corner.
Cheyenne Greaves serves once again. A couple of aces for her today from the true freshman. I think that's something that the Oregon State coaches will be excited about. Paid in over the net for Boise State. And the Beavers record another point. Back within 1, it's 11-10. Some of you have heard this before. Lauren Rummel, a kill. 13 on the afternoon for her. Too long on the try there from Boise State Sydney Dreves. And we are level at 11.
Really good idea trying to aim for that back corner of the court by Sydney Dreves, but unfortunately going long.
This is foot on the gas time for Oregon State, isn't it? You're kind of, like we said, playing with house money, a chance to sweep an opponent on the road. This is where you got to take off and make this third set uncomfortable for the Broncos. Right on cue, they serve it right into the net. And Boise State regains the advantage. Reed subs out, Bree Mitchell in. Hard to believe, but she hasn't been a Bronco her entire career. Feels like she's been here for so long. She actually started her career at Cal State Northridge in the Big West, but she bleeds blue and orange. Couldn't quite swing that one. And Oregon State knots it at a dozen.
I forget about that she was a transfer as well. In Big West, just like Caitlin Jaeger, Jaeger said that she's had the opportunity to connect with Mitchell over that Big West connection.
Great point by you, and it will be interesting to see in years to come. This year, you know, with the assemblage of the roster that Coach Garrett's put together, kind of felt like they needed these transfers. It's going to be interesting monitoring as the Broncos climb into the Pac-12 next year, if this is something they do year after year.
I agree.
Because Mitchell at the time was a rare transfer for this program. Mitchell all over that one as Boise State takes a 13-12 lead. Denying Nikila Gabriel an attempt. She had 8 kills on Friday. Nothing doing there for the freshman. Oregon State back to its system. Lauren Rummel delivers again 14 kills on 30 attempts.
She's been hard to stop today so far, Garrett, but Boise State, like I'm saying, needs to get on her, at least get some sort of positive touch off that so that your defense can play around that block.
Coach Mahonic told us that she can almost single-handedly will a team to win, trying to will them to a sweep today. Darlie Oglu. A point for the Beavers, and they've got a lead here in the third set.
Not what we've seen so far in blocking, just a little bit messy in terms of sometimes getting laid out to their hitters. That's where blocking, you got to be disciplined, pressing over the net quick and fast so that that hit can't utilize your hands.
Kind of to the opposite point that we made a few moments ago. This is where you have to be really careful if you're Boise State. They're in danger of getting swept here this afternoon. This is what you would call the danger zone. 10 points away from Oregon State taking this one 3-0.
Right. If you're Boise State right now, you got to nail this pass right now inside out.
Coach Mahonic told us that they want to become a program that has good small ball. Everybody's good all the way around, not just specialized. They have absolutely put that on tape today. Sean Garris needs a timeout. If you feel it slipping away a little bit if you're Boise State, give the Beavers a ton of credit. They have come ready to play here this afternoon and here in this third set.
I agree. I think the Beavers have adjusted well to Boise State style of play, knowing what their tendencies are. and adjusting and getting better every set so far in this afternoon.
Think about the mountain that they've had to kind of climb this weekend, too. You lose to Arizona. You're 0-3. You've won one set this year. They turn right back around yesterday. They sweep UCSD. They're a potential to sweep Boise State on its home floor. I mean, this has been quite the weekend for them over the last 2 days.
I know. I think they have nothing to lose, too. Like you said, they're playing with house money. They're like, let's go out there, have some fun. Let's finish this match. I'm sure that's what their coaches are saying, but also not getting complacent because like we saw in the first 2 sets, Boise State on the opposite end and Oregon State able to come back. So we could see the same thing from Boise State. Again, if you're Sean Garrett, you're telling your team, hey, let's stay in this. Let's be aggressive. Be the ones who want this at the end. Be the one who wants to get that set and put the ball away.
Like we said, looking forward for Boise State. They do have another home invitational next week. Boise State will take on Idaho State, Utah Tech, and San Francisco. That is the tournament that they feel like they should sweep. But you want to go in with good momentum, and taking 2 out of 3, it's going to be a long road back for the Broncos to try to do so this weekend. Oregon State, like we mentioned, matching up with Montana State, UNLV, and UC Irvine in a home tournament that they feel like they should sweep. So both teams trying to give themselves a little push going into next weekend. Jager turned away, caught in the set. Smith the denial. Jager. Just nothing open right now for Boise State offensively. Great dig by Bree Mitchell. Rummel can't sneak that in, and a much needed point for the Broncos.
Really good coverage by the Boise State defense. Oregon State doing a nice job getting in front of hitters, but Boise State all over that, anticipating that ball might get blocked and being there for their team to keep making plays.
That stops a 4-0 Beaver scoring run. And after all that, we go to CRS to determine whether there was a touch for the first time this afternoon. How about that?
I know, shocking. We saw some challenges at the end of the match yesterday, but it's been a little bit quiet on the challenge side of things today.
I can't remember a match last year. I believe it was the Colorado State match where both coaches were just letting the challenges fly. I want to say that they were in out. I can't remember when. I can't exactly pinpoint that last year, but
I know. I was trying to think. Do you remember when the challenges start? Like what year they started doing those?
It wasn't there when you were playing, was it? Okay.
No, we didn't have any of that. It had to have been a few years ago.
I'll have to do some digging and get a precise answer for you.
Did you see a touch on that?
I didn't see anything.
I didn't either, but
our referee, Paula Martin, getting a good look at it. She'll have the final word. And after CRS review, the call stands.
If anything, I feel like the challenges are nice to kind of switch up the momentum a little bit, kind of give your team a chance to regroup, especially in a tight third set like this.
That one was expeditious, too. I feel like college basketball fans really complain like ad nauseum about how long the reviews take. And, of course, college football back in the swing of things. Those take a while, but the CRS system pretty lickety-split as far as getting decisions out. Boise State trying to go back to front. Morris turned away, and it's Layla Smith picking up the kill. What an afternoon for her. 5 kills, 6 blocks.
Really nice block, getting in front of her hitter, and this time going over to that right side and pressing over strong. Some gritty plays on Boise State side.
Returning from an injured ankle last year, she's another player like Bella McGurr that Boise State is just so thankful to have fully healthy. Maybe not a play that Sydney Drees should have made, and like we said, with all these talented underclassmen, there's going to be moments like that that are teachable for them in film this week.
For sure. Like we talked about before this game, freshmen obviously coming into college, doing their best to adjust to the speed of college, because like Coach Candy mentioned, it's definitely different. The block's bigger, the defense is better, so just getting used to that atmosphere.
Bilby stifled again. That's been one of the turning points since Boise State has struggled over the last couple of sets. Bilby was making plays left and right in the first. Beavers have done a nice job on her defensively. Keila Gabriel. Ellie Cotton, Kaylin Jager. Great Mitchell pops it up. Bilby delivers, and some frustration from the Beavers. We're expecting that from that left pin.
No, it looked like a little bit of miscommunication where the blocker was trying to take that tip and pop it up. Unfortunately, no one there after that. So smart play by Bilby, a little bit of an off the net set, doing something with it.
19 games missed last year for Bella McGurr. Having another big, impactful performance this week. Couldn't quite dig it out. And Oregon State back up by 3. Oregon State finished 206 in RPI last year. Boise State 111. Bilby, a thunderous finish. Spills a little liquid over here in the scores table. And an exclamation point for Boise State back within 2.
That was an amazing swing by Bilby. Finding that hole in the block and just ripping it is exactly what you want to see, especially down the stretch in a tight match. Let's get some more plays like that.
You got to be ready for anything. You're sitting at the scores table. When the players warm up, you have to be kind of on your toes, ready to deflect a ball or two. And you also got to be ready for flying liquids, apparently. Didn't get on the court, though, so it didn't delay play, which is what you like to see. Sometimes we run into that. Lily Etter serves, trying to keep the Broncos around. Oregon State looking for a premier win on the road here today in the Bronco Classic. Giselle Payton changes speeds. Bilby turned away. Every time Boise State has gone on the attack here in the third, Oregon State feels like it's had an answer defensively.
I agree. Kudos to Oregon State block. I think I've mentioned this, but just doing a really nice job adjusting to Boise State, what their tendencies are, and getting in front of their hitters and stopping them.
Monica Hester involved in that play. 6 kills, 3 blocks for her. And the Beavers, like we mentioned, the psychological boost to being the first to 20. They are 5 points away from taking this match. Pause serves Mitchell. Painted the flush. 1,000 kills in her high school career. She had 400 as a senior. That is a window into the type of player that she could be.
I agree. What a powerful play by Boise State, and timing was perfect. That gap play. She has such a fast, strong arm swing, especially for a redshirt freshman. Just really incredible.
Boise State not going down without a fight. They touched that one last, and Oregon State back up by 3.
Back and forth battle still in this third set. Again, anyone's game.
Cheyenne Green serves. Bot 4 along the net. Yeah, that block right now is just too tough for the Beavers. There's 2 6'4" stalwarts right now. An impenetrable line for Boise State trying to push across.
I agree. Like you said, they have a huge block. I think just knowing that on the Boise State side and just trying to hit high and hard. I think Oregon State's doing a nice job utilizing that Boise State block. So Boise State's got to respond in that same effort. That's
something that Lindsey Bohanec has to feel good about, too. She's got the 6'4" grad and the 6'4" freshman in Mars and Hester. This is going to be a good team in the WCC.
For sure. Definitely some good, impactful players on their program. Really nice swing by Eliza Sharp. If I was her, now she's subbed out. But I'd be like, hey, keep feeding me that ball. I'm on fire. Let's keep going.
Oregon State's no point to Boise State. A bit of a surprise there. The Beavers are flummoxed, and for the first time today, we see Lindsey Bohanec go to the challenge court. We go to CRS for the second time in this third set. It's always interesting, too, when a coach goes with conviction, right? When goes quickly to the challenge card, when you know they're a little displeased with their call, but more importantly, you know they're confident in
right.
probably getting this one overturned. I don't think there was any question in Lindsey Bohannik's mind that she was going to ask for a second look. And a pretty quick decision there from Paula Martin, our referee.
It was a really aggressive swing, though, for sure, by Oregon State. I feel like their foot is still on the gas in the third set. Yep. And they win that challenge.
Great challenge by Lindsey Bohannik.
Agreed. Like you said, she knew what she knew, and she went in with it, and was the outcome that she wanted.
Helped the team to their first top 25 wins since 2017 and 2023, trying to build this program up in the model of what Pittsburgh has done. Under Dan Fisher, she said her kids call him Uncle Dan, one of the best coaches in the country. They're trying to be a little bit like that Panther program. This would be a nice building block for them as they try to get to 2-3 on the 2025 season. Layla Smith over the net. Rummel. Big there for Bree Mitchell. Smith denied. To the back line it goes. Rummel too long. Oh, wow. Point to Oregon State. They've got the match point. Thought that one maybe went a little too long along the sideline.
A tough one to watch. I love that Layla Smith's getting out there knowing it's going to Rummel, but unfortunately an unforced error with the net, just trying to be aggressive on the block. Point to Oregon State.
Monica Hester serves. Leander sets it up. That one in the Beaver bench, and Boise St back within 4.
I love that. The freshman Dreves just going for it, especially on match point, not afraid to swing. It's exactly what you want to see.
Match point continues for Oregon State. Always an uncomfortable spot, though, when your opponent has the serve. Wow, a little dump serve and a beautiful way to finish it. Jackie Matias so quiet today as she comes through with a huge play. And Oregon State sweeps Boise State to close out the Bronco Classic.
Really nice finish by Oregon State. It looks like they had their foot on the gas the entire match. They didn't give up in any of the sets. They just were the aggressor, I would say, and they wanted it.
Congratulations to the Beavers. What a fantastic win. Oregon State takes it 3-0. We'll hear from Sean Garris next.